You ever have that sinking feeling? Why do you imagine the worst? Do you know why you react the way you do to uncertainty? I will share 8 everyday pressure situations that trigger your threat responses and 5 strategies to help you take control. We all have an inbuilt protection system. This system was designed for more primitive times when threats were more from strangers or things that might eat us. We have a spidey sense, an early warning system designed to identify threats. Most of you, of course, will have heard of fight or flight, and to go with them, you'll find freeze and mating. These responses are deeply ingrained, evolutionary responses to perceived threats. They're hardwired to ensure your survival and are activated via the amygdala, part of our limbic system responsible for processing emotions. This response is triggered when we perceive a threat that we believe we can overcome by confronting it. Our body prepares for battle, muscles tighten, heart rate increases, and we become hyper alert. This is activated when you perceive that the threat you believe cannot be overcome by confronting it, where your best option is to escape. Similar to the fight response, your body gears up for rapid movement, your heart's pumping, breathing increases, and you're ready to run. This response occurs when you're unsure of how to respond, when neither fight nor flight seems viable. Your body and mind effectively stall. It might be akin to a deer caught in the headlights, unable to move. It involves appeasing or trying to please the threat in order to stay safe. This might manifest itself in excitable or people-pleasing behaviours in some individuals. Modern day life has become complex and uncertain. There's even a term for it now, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. Everyday situations, interactions and challenges can activate your threat responses in today's modern workplace. Let's look at some common workplace triggers. Performance pressure. We've all been there. Nobody wants to miss a deadline or make a mistake, especially in front of our peers or superiors. Nobody wants to be told that they're not meeting job expectations. Our response, we work longer, often excessive hours, to prove our worth. Or we avoid responsibility. We procrastinate, become paralysed by the workload. Or we seek to overplease our superiors by taking on too much work. Internal conflict can be stressful. When we disagree with colleagues, we feel undermined or even bullied and find navigating office politics really challenging. This can play out in a number of ways. We confront colleagues aggressively, we avoid certain colleagues or the meetings they're in, we say nothing in group discussions, or we become overly agreeable to avoid the conflict. Now, it's hard to think of many more stressful situations than when we think our job is at risk, whether that be economic downturns, company mergers, or rumours of layoffs. We may overcompensate by overworking. We look for a new job, or we quiet quit as we mentally check out from our current job. We fear change and our ability to adapt to changes, or we try to become indispensable by taking on many roles and appeasing our superiors. The fear of judgment, forgetting one's lines, or technical malfunction consumes most, if not all, public speakers. This manifests in us getting defensive when questioned. We may even call in sick on the day of the presentation. The stress may cause us to forget what we say mid-presentation. Or we over-prepare and constantly seek validation from the audience. Organisational change is a common trigger for emotional response. It might be the introduction of new technologies, changing job roles, or another company restructure. And you'll see this in how we resist the change aggressively. We may seek a transfer or redundancy. We may be unable to adapt or learn the new system, or over-enthusiastically embrace the change without critical thought. Being treated unfairly, be that our gender, race, age, or other personal characteristic, is a surefire way to trigger our threat response. Our response will be seen in a number of ways: reporting the behaviour or confronting the harasser. We may avoid workplace events. We may not react to incidents when they occur, or we try to appease or even befriend the harasser to prevent further incidents. Feeling overwhelmed by our workload could be down to excessive tasks, the expectation of doing lots at the same time, or it could be a lack of clarity in the job or tasks themselves. So, what do? We stay late, we work through our breaks, we ignore tasks, or we delegate unnecessarily. We start tasks without really starting, or we accept more work than we can ever manage. This comes when you feel that you don't deserve your job, or the achievements that you've had, or you've got that fear of being found out as a fool. Well, this might cause you to overcompensate by working harder. You might decline opportunities or promotions. You may avoid making decisions, or you constantly seek validation or approval. It's not always easy, but recognizing when you're in a fight, flight, freeze, or friendship mode is the first step. By becoming more self-aware, you can identify triggers and work towards managing your reactions. Deep, controlled breathing can help calm the nervous system and deactivate the threat response. Physical activity can help reduce the hormones and chemicals that are produced during the threat response. These practices can help train the brain to respond more calmly to threats and reduce the frequency and intensity of those responses. Social support is crucial. Talking to someone you can trust can help reduce feelings of isolation and provide a different perspective on what you believe the threats are. We're all different. What triggers me may not be the same for you. Recognize that triggers to perceived threats are not rational. Being aware of how you respond can help you develop coping strategies. Understand that threat response or your spidey sense kicking in, but it may not be a threat. Finally, develop strategies to help you handle your threat responses. If you like this content, why not subscribe and click the bell to be notified of future content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.